Welcome. Welcome to this session on corticosteroids. I'm Dr. Ahmed Nawaz Khan from School of Pharmacy. This video lecture is instructional and only for educational purpose. This is not a medical advice or suggestion. Corticosteroids. These corticosteroids, they are a class of the drug that lowers the inflammation in the body. They also reduce the immune system activity. Because corticosteroids, they ease swelling, itching, redness, and allergic reaction. So that's why these corticosteroids, they are used in some to treat some diseases like asthma, arthritis, lupus, and allergies. Lupus is a systemic autoimmune disease in which the body's immune system attacks own tissues and organs. So this situation is known as lupus. These corticosteroids, they are resembled to the cortisol. Cortisol, which is a hormone naturally produced by the body's adrenal gland. Body needs this cortisol to stay healthy, and this cortisol play a very major role in the body, in the process of body, just like metabolism, immune response, and stress. Overall, these corticosteroids, they are very powerful anti-inflammatory medications that can treat disease like asthma, arthritis, and lupus, but they can have some serious side effects also. These are prescribed in the Addison disease, organ transplants, inflammation, autoimmune disease, etc. These corticoids, they are can be a systemic or localized. Just like localized, steroid, they target a specific part of the body, and they can be applied in the form of creams, eye drops, ear drops, inhalers, etc. Now, some of the well-known corticosteroids. So the first is cortisone. This cortisone is a naturally occurring glucocorticoid, and it has been used in replacement therapy of adrenal insufficiency and also as an anti-inflammatory agent. This cortisone itself is inactive. It is actually converted in the liver to the active metabolite, which is known as hydrocortisone. So the next corticosteroid is hydrocortisone. Hydrocortisone or cortisol is a glucocorticoid secreted by the adrenal cortex, and as discussed, it is used for treating the immune or inflammatory as well as the neoplastic conditions. This compound belongs to a organic class of 21 hydrocorticosteroid having a steroid backbone and hydroxyl group at 21 position. Its solution is used for infection of the external auditory, you can use by the eardrops, and susceptible organism and inflammation. These hydrocortisone actually decrease the vasodilation and permeability of decrease the permeability of capillaries, as well as decrease the leukocyte migration to the site of inflammation. But this is for a very short term. This effect is very for short term. These corticosteroids, they binding to the glucocorticoid receptor and which mediate the changes in the gene expression that lead to the the effect for more than hours to days. Now the next compound is one more point remains. The lower dose of corticosteroids, they provide an anti-inflammatory effect, while the higher dose, they are used in the immunosuppressive activity. High dose of glucocorticoids, actually it extend the period bind to the mineralocorticoid receptor, and as it extend the period bind to the mineralocorticoid, it raise the sodium level and decrease the potassium level. So in two ways, at lower dose and higher dose it works. At lower dose, anti-inflammatory effect; at higher dose, immunosuppressive effect. The next compound is prednisolone. Prednisolone, which is again a compound having the 21 hydroxysteroids and the steroid backbone having a hydroxyl group at 21 carbon. This is a glucocorticoid which is similar to the cortisol and having the activity of anti-inflammatory, immunosuppressive, anti-neoplastic and vasoconstrictive effect. So it is used to treat the endocrine, rheumatic, hematologic disorders, the dermatologic, ophthalmic, respiratory and gastrointestinal diseases, and sometimes in the allergic states also. Likewise, the hydrocortisone, this is also having a short-term effect by decrease the vasodilation and permeability of the capillaries and decrease the leukocyte migration to the site of inflammation. The next compound is the betamethasone. Betamethasone is same organic compound, belongs to the 21 hydroxysteroid, and this is a long acting corticosteroid with immunosuppressive and anti-inflammatory properties. It can be used topically to manage the inflammatory of the skin condition such as eczema, and it's also used in the autoimmune disorders. Very important point is betamethasone has potent glucocorticoid activity but negligible mineralocorticoid activity. The previous one, the hydrocortisone or prednisolone, they have the mineralocorticoid activity also. This betamethasone is actually, this is the glucocorticoid which inhibit the neutrophil apoptosis and demargination. It also inhibits the NF-kappa. So this glucocorticoid betamethasone, it inhibits the neutrophil apoptosis and demargination, inhibit the NF-kappa B and other inflammatory transcription factors. This glucocorticoid, it also promotes the anti-inflammatory genes like interleukin 10. And this corticosteroid, which is this betamethasone, it acts through the non-genomic and genomic pathways. Genomic pathway is slower, as we have discussed earlier, and non-genomic pathway is faster. The next drug is dexamethasone. This is also a 21 hydroxysteroid, and this is also known as MK125. This is a fluorinated at position 9. You can see in the structure there is a fluorine at 9th position, and this is used to treat the endocrine, rheumatic, dermatologic, allergic, ophthalmologic, and gastrointestinal respiratory problems, even as an antineoplastic. Structurally, it is very similar to the other corticosteroid like the hydrocortisone and the prednisolone. You can see in the structure. And very important point over here, in the period of this COVID-19, this dexamethasone was granted by the was recommended by as a therapy in the COVID-19 treatment, because the patient dexamethasone, it reduced the the death by approximately the third in the patient, and it relaxed the respiratory symptoms, it relaxed the respiratory tract. This dexamethasone is used in combination of the ciprofloxacin as a suspension, and thus it is used for bacterial infection with inflammation, just like in acute otitis and acute otitis externa and media. Some intramuscular and intravenous injections, which are indicated for a number of endocrine or some rheumatic dermatologic problems. And the mechanism is same, as it decrease the vasodilation and decrease the permeability of the capillaries, as well as decrease the leukocyte migration at the site of inflammation. So this is all about the corticosteroids.